Times were tough, so I sold my soul. And I don't think I'll ever regain control. Devil looked me in the eye, now I look the other way. What else could I do? I just stood at the doorway and knew I'd rather be drunk with you. I'd rather be
Hey Internet, Dracofunk here, and welcome back to my Reusable Space Program, Season 2, Episode 20. And right now, we are at Duna Station Discovery, and we are undocking the mining ship, and we're going to be sending it back to Ike Station, which is Atlantis Station. I'm trying to get my Ike encounter right now. There we go. So, anyway, last episode we did 2 interplanetary transfers where we sent a ship back from Duna to Kerbin and a ship from Kerbin to Duna. And I need to get the next couple missions prepped. So Jebediah is going to be bringing his ship, the Liberator, now that it's been repaired, from Kerbin to Duna, just for a visit, but he's also going to be bringing another one of the orange tanks. And then the first trip of the space van will also be coming from Kerbin to the Duna system. And the space van will be kind of our main passenger ship that goes in between Kerbin and Duna. Now, it's not a huge passenger craft. It's just something that can bring a fair amount of passengers, and it's really only 8 at a time, but that will be the regular passenger service. And I guess I can foresee in the future the need for a larger passenger craft, but that is something I will tackle later. I have, over the past couple episodes, found, especially now, because once the space van is here, I don't believe at the moment, there is need for any other craft to be stationed in the Duna system. Because I have the craft that I already have the mining craft that will land on Ike and do the mining operations. I have the tanker to go between the Ike station and the Duna main station. I have the space bus to go between the stations to carry passengers. I have the atmospheric lander that will go between Discovery Station and the surface of Duna. And then I have the SUV craft to do the same thing between the surface of Ike and Ike Station. And then the space van will be the ship that goes between Duna and Kerbin. So what I really need is a cargo ship to go between Kerbin and Duna. But I realized I need that for everywhere. So what I really need is a fleet of cargo ships. So kind of like a group of space trucks to go and deliver cargo or station parts wherever they're needed, because I can have a steady flow of modules coming from Kerbin to orbit, and then the space trucks can take them to wherever they need to be. Now, you may have noticed I did a rendezvous with the space station, but did not dock with it, because I realized that I did not need to dock with the station until after I've done a mining run, and I forgot about that until I'd already rendezvoused with the station. Luckily, Ike doesn't take a lot of Delta V to land on. I don't know why I went straight to the station, because had I docked there, the next thing I did would have been to undock and do a whole mining trip. And I was already a little bit frustrated because I did that, and then in landing I wasn't paying attention, and now, as you can see, I'm actually ascending from Ike, so I have to turn around and actually burn back towards the surface. I mean, I could have just waited and I would have eventually fell down, but I don't have time for that. So here I am. I'm coming for a landing on Ike. I'm down to 800 meters per second Delta V, but I'm not concerned. I am going very, very slow. I have hundreds of Delta V left, and here I am. And now I can proceed with all the mining. The other mistake I made here is I should have brought a load of ore up with me, but for some reason, I was thinking I did not have any empty ore tanks on the Ike station yet, because I know here soon I'm going to be bringing up a completely empty ore tank. But I do have the one of the tanks on the Ike station does have one ore tank and then two of the monopropellant tanks, and I could have brought a load up and left it there. And I like to do that, so once I have the station and the mining ship full of ore, to convert that all into monopropellant, which is really important because I'm actually having a shortage of monopropellant in the Duna system right now. And that's mainly because the only holder of monopropellant I have is on the Ike station right now. The tanker does not have its own tank to carry extra monopropellant, and I really don't have a lot of reserves of monopropellant, even though I have lots of regular liquid fuel and oxidizer. Actually, I have an overabundance of oxidizer after this mission, to where I'm actually storing oxidizer in other tanks just because I have nowhere else to put it. But here I am. I have once again rendezvoused with Ike Station. I should really call it Atlanta Station, but because I went to all the trouble of naming all my space stations, so I should probably use the names. I do need another set of docking ports for the Ike Station. I didn't think I really would, but I can see now that I probably do. And as we approach the Ike Station, you can see there is one section left open that is where I will put the other ore tanks once I can get them here. And they're going to be coming via the space van. Now I really should move that little RCS tug to the end of the truss. But right now it's kind of a convenient spot just to dock the mining ship. And I'm going to go ahead and cut out all the fuel transfer because it's very, very boring. And there are 2 of the little RCS tugs right now on the Ike station, which last episode you saw where I locked the solar panels for the Duna station. I have not done so yet for the Ike station, and they are a little bit crooked. But back to the RCS tugs. So there are 2 of them right now at Ike station, and I would like one of them to go to the Duna station. So it's going to hitch a ride on the space tanker. And the design of the space tanker is, I think, similar to what I would like the space trucks to be. Let me try and fix these solar panels. Hopefully they stay in their lock position now. And I'm just going to get a transfer back to Duna. And the the RCS tug really isn't that heavy, even though it is knocking the balance off a little bit. It's not a whole bunch. You can see as I thrust, it wants to turn a little bit, and the RCS is firing to kind of correct. It's really not a big deal. One of the things about the design of the space tanker, though, is it will always have to dock a little bit offset. I guess I could bring it in backwards once I attach the tanks on the back. So my plan is to have 2 of the orange, or the medium orange tanks on the back of this, and then 1 of the same tank that's on the Canterbury back in the Kerbin system, where it's one of the small 3-meter orange tanks and then 2 monopropellant tanks. And this tanker actually has a lot of fuel carrying capacity even without the extra tanks. So it should be almost able to completely fill Duna Station with each run. And really, this is a better design than the Canterbury that I've been using back in the Kerbin system. Although, aesthetically, I kind of like the look of it. But it is not the most efficient ship to be doing those fuel runs. But it works. So here I am, I'm coming in for trying to figure out which docking port I'm going to dock to. Just visually looking in. So what I'm going to do is actually dock to the end of this fuel tank, because originally I figured I would be doing a couple missions at least with just one fuel tank, but in reality I'm going to dock to the station and then not do any fuel runs before the next orange tank arrives. So even though I'm going to put this in the center, I'm going to have to move it in another episode because I'll already have the second orange tank. And I could have done a better job docking. It looks really bad when the footage is sped up. But now I have the fuel tank. I think what I'm going to do is undock the tanker, and then I need to undock the little RCS tug also, because I don't want it to get stuck in between the space tanker and the space station. So let's go ahead and undock that now. Whoops. I thought I was on this tanker, but I was on the tug. Everything is rotating. Alright. Let's try and visually line up. That's the other thing. Because of where I put the RCS thrusters on the Canterbury, it is not the easiest thing to dock. And since then, I've been paying more attention to how I set up the RCS thrusters. So not just where the RCS thrusters are convenient to put, but also convenient to dock. And there I am. Whoops, I missed. Let's go back just a little bit. And this footage comes to you sped up 4 times. And there we are, and as you can see, the RCS tug has floated quite a bit away. Now my intention was to dock on the end of the fuel tank on the back of the atmospheric lander so I can transport it to the other side of the station and put it in place. If you are noticing and paying attention, that is not the fuel tank I am targeting and docking to. Because, as I said, this footage is sped up 4 times, and I've now been at this probably about an hour and a half almost. And I'm tired, and I'm just really not paying attention to what I'm doing. Like I'm thinking, okay, I'm coming up on the tank, I just need to get closer in and dock to it. And there I am, I'm docked to it, and then I realized I'm on the wrong tank. Now, if I was really being smart right now, I would check and see how much RCS I have left before I undocked. But I didn't do that. So I need to fly to the other side of the station, which is not hard to do in this little tug. And switch where I'm controlling from. And this RCS tug works really well, except for the fact that it is so small. Even just a slight maneuver tends to send it way off, but there I am. Now, if I was really smart, I'd check and see how much RCS, or monopropellant, I have left in the tanks. Again, I did not do that, and it did not occur to me to check. So I want to place this opposite of the other orange tank. I know on other stations I've placed them side by side. I don't remember what my reasoning is for wanting to place them opposite of each other. I think part of it is I want the large liquid tank to be on the outside, and the monopropellant tank to be on the other side of that. I just thought that would look better aesthetically. And right about now, I decide that it's probably a good idea for me to retract the solar panels just in case. And there I'm already not following my rules about having the solar panels tucked away when ships are docked. So I need to go through and retract all the solar panels on just about every ship that's here. Alright, and now I can use the nav ball to make sure I am lined up and just slowly move in. And sometime about right now I have a heart attack and realize that I have no idea how much monopropellant is left. But it turns out not to be an issue. And now I can re-extend the solar panels and stow the solar panels from all the other ships, which I should have done because that is now procedure. And I can commence with transferring all the fuel off of the tanker and refilling all the tanks to all the other ships that are docked. As I said, I spend a lot of time transferring fuel in this series because that is how we keep the reusable space program running, is mining fuel and transporting it to the space stations to transfer to the ships. So I guess all these space stations, what they really are gas stations. And that analogy for some reason makes me kind of sad. But that's okay. I hope you're not sad. And hopefully by the time this video comes out, the Canadian wildfires have died down a little bit. And I hope everybody else out there in the world is doing well. If you haven't done so, hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.